Hi folks, this is all the fruit, and recently somebody, I think from Malaysia or somewhere in Southeast Asia, asked me to show a traditional European fruit forest. Well, fruit forests are not very common or traditional in Germany, but some other traditional fruit cultivation practices. So this here is a fruit pasture, as you can see. Lots of cows with little baby calves, and in the background lots of old fruit trees. Yeah, the cows are quite curious. Well, so what is a fruit pasture or a fruit meadow or a fruit field or a fruit vineyard? Well, in older times, basically, people would plant fruit trees everywhere on agricultural land, especially since the tenants usually were allowed to harvest the fruit for themselves, even if they were working the land for somebody else. And so I think maybe 100 years ago, this was a fruit field, so they were growing wheat or potatoes or something here. A kilometer or two further west, they would have had some fruit vineyards. That means a vineyard with fruit trees in it. Later, those fruit fields, a lot of them became like fruit meadows, where the grass was being harvested to feed the animals in winter. Because basically having fruit trees on a vineyard or on a wheat field basically reduces your wine or wheat harvest, and also it's a bit of a pain to work the land with all those fruit tree roots in it. Remember, this was not really a permaculture, but they were actually plowing the vineyards and the fields. So they made fruit meadows where they would harvest the grass and the fruits too. And later they thought, well, the fruit meadows are also a little bit too much work, driving around all the fruit trees when I have to harvest the grass. And then they made fruit pasture. So basically the cows don't mind walking around the fruit trees. Sometimes the cows or sheep will even eat the fruit, and of course they'll get shade. And nowadays those fruit have become less and less important. They still use them for cider or for apple juice or pear juice. But as you can see, quite a few fruit trees have been planted in the background. Most of the trees are really old and hollow and kind of dying. Basically, the commercial use of this land is now as a cattle pasture, and the fruit trees are more like for government subsidies, because it's a traditional way of using the land, and Germans like their fruit trees. But there are areas around here, I don't know if this one is included, where nowadays hundreds of high school students come to those fruit meadows and fruit pastures in autumn and collect the apples and pears, and they put a big apple juice press here, and so everybody can get a lot of apple juice. So yeah, the trees are still useful. It's just not a very commercial thing anymore. The commercial use is, yeah, here those numerous cows with their little baby calves and little children enjoying them. By the way, we are here, well, in the background there is the Speiererhof, a former farm which is now a hospital, but the cows belong to the Bierhelderhof, which is behind me. Okay, one last look on the cute baby calves, folks. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and cow-rich country of Germany. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.